Good evening. Welcome, students and families, to the 62nd Annual Honors Banquet. It is always a pleasure to honor our students. These young men and women before you are hardworking, innovative, dedicated to their learning, and well-respected amongst their peers and our faculty. Not only have they earned a grade point average that ranked them in the top 6 of their class, but these students have also met and exceeded their responsibilities that come with being an athlete, a musician, a part-time employee, class steering committee member, student council member, a leader, an actor, a volunteer, and much, much more. They represent the very best of academia and make this high school and our community proud. At this time, I invite Mrs. Eliza Comley of our school counseling department to the podium to introduce our keynote speaker. Mrs. Comley.
Thank you, Mr. Bosher. Hunter Jones is a 2016 graduate of Tunkhannock Area High School and one of my favorite people. She graduated from Marywood University in December of 2019 with 2 degrees and 2 minors. Her 2 degrees are in information security and computer science, and her minors are in math and Spanish. She's currently getting her master's in cybersecurity engineering from Drexel. Excuse me. She is also working as a cybersecurity engineer for Urban, the mother company of Free People, Anthropology, and Urban Outfitters. In fact, today was her very first day, and we appreciate you fitting us in here, Hunter. And you get a really nice discount too, right? It's one of the nice benefits. She is the founder and president of her own nonprofit fund called Hope for Hunter through the Scranton Area Foundation. The fund provides chemo cozy jackets to pediatric and young adult oncology patients. We're thrilled to have Hunter here back in the halls of Tunkhannock Area High School to celebrate our best students. Thank you for joining us, Hunter. And ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Hunter Jones.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction and inviting me to speak tonight. I would like to start by sharing one of my favorite quotes by Jodi Urquhart. We have to go through the challenges of life to gain wisdom, and not until you experience something can you really, truly appreciate it. I learned in my senior year of high school just how many challenges one can experience. My goal of going to college, securing a career, and achieving success was finally within reach. To achieve this goal, I took dual enrollment classes and participated in the Youth Scholars Program by taking college credits at the University of Scranton and King's College starting in my sophomore year. I toured multiple college campuses during that summer, and I decided on Duquesne University's 6-year physical therapy program. Everything was going just as I had planned, and then it happened. The big C word, cancer. I had cancer, both brain and colon. What? How? Why? I'm 17, I'm healthy, and I feel perfectly fine. This cannot be possible, but it was. My days no longer consisted of taking accelerated college classes or participating in senior activities. Multiple surgeries, countless procedures, 8 weeks of daily radiation, and 3 years of 3 different chemotherapy drugs was now how I spent my senior days. The months dragged on. Now, fast forward to spring. It was time for my senior field trip, prom, and graduation. I knew the field trip was going to be a day spent at Francis Slocum State Park. I did not know if I would be able to endure the outing. I was weak, but would I be too weak? Would my classmates judge my baldness and my sunken frame from weight loss? What would I drink, since cold liquids were no longer a possibility, thanks to a side effect from one of my chemo drugs? Any fluids not at room temperature or warmer felt like I was swallowing shards of glass. The fears of what ifs were endless in my mind, but the greatest fear was what if I had never tried? Prom was now approaching, and so was a new side effect of chemotherapy: severe water blisters on my hands and feet, water blisters the size of golf balls. There's only one senior prom, and I wanted to go so badly. I knew I would not be able to walk in my high heels or wear my fancy dress, and prom would have to go on without me. I expressed my disappointment to my oncologist at my next appointment, who sat and listened with pools of tears in his eyes to match mine. He quickly lowered my chemo dose temporarily in hopes of my blisters going away, and it worked. The blisters cleared up just enough for me to walk into my senior prom and dance in my beautiful dress and shoes. I was graduating in the beginning of June, and now it was time for college. My original college plan completely changed. My dream of Duquesne and a physical therapy program was over. My doctors and my mother discouraged me from going away. I needed to stay close to the hospital for my treatments, surgical interventions, and medical appointments. Last minute, I applied to local colleges with little to no plan in mind. I was accepted to Marywood University, and because I always had a strength in mathematics, I decided to major in information security, a major I knew very little about. While I was busy blaming others for taking away my college dreams, I lost sight that Marywood was reviewing and accepting my dual enrollment in college credits obtained during high school. Luckily, Marywood accepted all of my credits and counted them towards my general education courses. This opened up an entire year in college for me to either graduate early or take additional classes. I took all of the energy I was using to feel sorry for myself, and I chose to take extra classes. I double majored in information security and computer science with minors in mathematics and Spanish. I graduated in 3.5 years. 3.5 years with 2 majors and 2 minors. I began my graduate studies with Drexel immediately after. So you may ask yourself, why do I stand here today and tell you about these experiences? During the field trip, so many of my classmates complimented my appearance, looked beyond my baldness, and guarded my warm drinks. Then there were those that stared at me and talked about my thin frame and joked that I was drinking warm liquids on a hot day. But what mattered is that I had the courage to go. I learned that day people do not always like or accept what is different, and I was different. It was not me worrying about my own fears that almost prevented me from going on that trip. It was me worrying about what others feared about me, and only they can overcome their own fears. Prom was not about a beautiful dress and high heels. I could have walked into prom in a sweatsuit and sneakers, but I was walking in because a 17-year-old girl had the courage to express her feelings to her oncologist, and he took the time to listen. If you are passionate about what you believe in, then express yourself. People will listen. The right people will listen. And if they don't, then keep talking until you find someone who will. Regardless of my age or education at the time, I had a voice, and it was heard. Regarding college, I didn't want cancer to be the reason my career path changed, but it was. I now realize just how bad of a physical therapist I would have been. I still spend so much time in hospitals, laboratories, and diagnostics for ongoing cancer screenings that I now cringe when it comes to anything medical. A physical therapist who dislikes medical would not be in the best interest of the patient, in my opinion. Information security only requires virtual bandages, not physical. And without the support and the direction of my guidance counselor, Mrs. Comley, teachers, doctors, and mothers, my studies at Marywood would not have happened. Change will take place, and as hard as it may seem at the time, a positive will emerge. So as you listen to my story, I hope you have learned we have to go through the challenges of life to gain wisdom, and not until you experience something can you really, truly appreciate it. I went through challenges, a lot of challenges, in a very short period of time. My experience during that time allowed me to appreciate living, be proud of who I am, accept others for who they are, embrace the people I love and those who love me, and finally, to never take 1 second of my life for granted. Thank you.
Thank you, Hunter, for those inspiring words. At this time, we will introduce each honoree. When your name is called, please come forward to the gift table. You will receive your gift from Mr. Landon. You'll enjoy the applause and the recognition you so deserve. And then don't sit down until we have your whole class up here. So we are going to start with the class of 2024, our freshmen. Sixth in the class of 2024 is Charlotte Price. Charlotte is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Price. Charlotte was unable to attend this evening, but we still offer her our sincerest congratulations. Fifth in the class of 2024 is Madison DiGilio. Madison is the daughter of Bob and Megan DiGilio. Fourth in the class of 2024 is Vanessa Mock. Vanessa is the daughter of Kevin Mock and Allison Theobald. Third in the class is Brendan Yatsko. Brendan is the son of Michael and Robin Yatsko. Second in the class of 2024 is Samantha Rohrig. Samantha is the daughter of Adam and Kelly Rohrig. And first in the class of 2024 is Zoe Powers. Zoe is the daughter of Christopher and Shane Powers. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2024 are freshmen. You may be seated. And now our sophomores, the class of 2023. Ranked sixth in the class of 2023 is Nathan Schaefer. Nathan is the son of Amanda and Jesse Clark and the late Nicholas Tuttle, who would be so proud of his son's accomplishments. Ranked fifth in the class is Anna Williams. Anna is the daughter of Daniel and Heather Williams. Ranked fourth in the class of 2023 is Ben Canella. Ben is the son of Charles and Amy Canella. Ranked third in the class is Zach Kaiser. Zach is the son of Craig and Laura Kaiser. Second in the class of 2023 is Victoria Slusark. Victoria is the daughter of John and Christine Slusark. And ranked first in the class of 2024 is Ben Chilson. Ben is the son of Terry Chilson and Rebecca Gramad Chilson. Congratulations to the class of 2023, our sophomores. And on to our juniors, the class of 2022. Ranked 6th in the class of 2022 is Christopher Mirabelli. Christopher is the son of Gerard and Nancy Mirabelli. Ranked 5th in the class of 2022 is Aurora Beauchesne. Aurora is the daughter of Nicole Wilson and Gerard Beauchesne. Ranked 4th in the class is Jordan Wagner. Jordan is the son of Jason and Catherine Wagner. Ranked 3rd in the class of 2022 is Lexi Fortney. Lexi is the daughter of Brian and Sherry Fortney. Ranked 2nd in the class of 2022 is Alyssa Kowalczyk. Alyssa is the daughter of Greta and Fred Kowalczyk. And ranked 1st in the class of 2022 is Matthew Prebola. Matthew is the son of Bill and Marianne Prebola. Congratulations to our juniors, the class of 2022. And now our favorite part of the evening, we'd like to present the seniors, the class of 2021, who will graduate this Friday. It is a long-standing honors banquet tradition for our seniors to be roasted by their families. It's certainly much more entertaining to the audience than the honorees, but the roasts offer parents and families a moment to look back on these 12 very quick years of school and to laugh through some of the sad-to-see-it-all-end tears. Seniors, when we introduce you, you should come forward. You should accept your gift from Mrs. Conway and Mr. Landon, and there's a big X on the floor, and that's where you should stand. We want the YouTube audience to be able to watch you squirm. When you are done being roasted, you are welcome to recover in a chair, so you may take a seat while your peer is being roasted. Ranked 6th in the class of 2021 is Vivian Moyer. Vivian is the daughter of D.A. and Jamie Moyer and will attend Penn State University and major in psychology. Oh, she took her mark. You got it, Viv. That's perfect. Pardon me? Oh, you could. If you would like to take your mask off, you're more... Yeah. We have to watch Vivian turn red and smile and hide her face. That's going to happen to all of you seniors out there. Mrs. Conway will read Vivian's roast, which was written by her parents.
It's hard to believe that we're here on the cusp of Vivian's high school graduation. It seems like only a few days ago she was being told to turn off the cartoons and clean up the Pokemon cards and Cheerios she had spilled all over the floor. Wait, That was just a few days ago. We're not saying that Viv isn't mature enough or prepared enough to go out into the world on her own. Just last week, she had to drive somewhere 2 miles from home and managed all on her own to get several miles past her destination before her mom had to tell her to turn around and drive back, and then drive out to escort Viv through the one turn she had to make. Her driving isn't that bad, though. The real problem is when the driving ends and the parking begins. Her parallel parking is like something from a parallel universe. Actually, we thought Viv was horrible at parallel parking, but then we saw her park perfectly sideways. Unfortunately, it was in a forward-facing space. We don't feel bad for her, though. It's the people she parks between that we're really scared for. We're also scared for Viv's future roommate. This poor person has no idea what they're in for. Viv's roommate will have to get used to the way she talks and occasionally cries out in her sleep. Hopefully, they won't be able to make out the horrible things she says. It's not that Viv has night terrors, it's that she causes them. Anyone who has read her fiction or poetry can attest to this dark side of our little Viv. Is it any surprise she's majoring in psychology? Necessity is the mother of invention, after all. But Viv's mild psychosis is not the worst thing about living with her. See, Viv lives under the assumption that food, crumbs, paper scraps, dirty laundry, and spilled lemon head candy are all reasonable substitutes for flooring. They call them throw rugs because the rug is where you throw things, right? We think it's because she was told she couldn't can a hamster, so she figured she'd try to attract rats. Hopefully, her roommate is an animal lover. If not, we hope her roommate is smart, at least smart enough anyway, to not say anything to make Viv angry. For those who know her outside of school, she's always been scary, like that kid from the Twilight Zone that puts you in the TV if you make her mad. Viv makes dirty looks from someone else seem really friendly and welcoming. And if she's not being mean to you, you have to wonder what she's setting you up for. She likes building tension like that, like building a gallows, metaphorically. Well, maybe metaphorically. Despite all this, Viv's family will really miss her when she leaves for school. In all seriousness, she is a bright and beautiful part of every day. They will especially miss Friday night dinner and a movie, which has been a tradition for her entire life. They will miss playing Crazy Eights and Sorry, and her empty chair at the dinner table will need to come with a trigger warning. But the sadness felt from her absence will be tempered by the knowledge that she is out there building something wonderful in the world, hopefully not a gallows. So, in closing, while the thought of Viv going off on her own does make us nervous, it doesn't make us nearly as nervous as her family is at the thought of going home with her after giving this roast. Please help. Somebody, please. Ranked 5th in the class is Jenna Laughinghouse. Where's Jenna? Jenna is the daughter of Anne and James Laughinghouse and the sister of Austin Laughinghouse. Jenna will attend the Florida Institute of Technology in the fall to study biomedical science, and her roast was written by her parents. We always knew Jenna was fearless. One day, when she was really young, she was riding her tricycle in the kitchen. Her Grammy was taking items down to the basement and accidentally left the door open a bit too much. Jenna rode the tricycle up to the edge, but she did not stop quick enough. Her momentum carried her down the stairway. Hanging on tight to the handlebars, she did a full somersault and ended up at the bottom, still on the tricycle. Luckily, no broken bones or sprained muscles, just a little shook up. Then, later on in life, she decided one of her hair barrettes looked good enough to eat and swallowed it. Again, luck on her side, the x-rays showed it was clipped closed and lowered the chance of becoming lodged in her system. Just had to wait for it to come out au naturel a couple of days later, if you know what I mean. One thing we missed out on, we should have bought stock in Heinz ketchup because this girl eats everything with Heinz ketchup on it. Quick question, can any of her friends in the audience guess what she has for lunch almost every day since elementary school? Yep. Another stock we should have bought, Oscar Mayer. You know that feeling when you check your wallet, purse, or pants pockets and find some money in them that you forgot about and you think, wow, my lucky day? Well, in our house, if her mom finds wadded up money stuck in the top of her purse, it means Jenna has bought something online again and a package should be arriving in a couple of days. In all seriousness, we love watching and supporting you in all the things you participate in. be it sports like field hockey, track, and tennis, or band percussion as a cymbal section leader, or in Wendy Peckin's dance recitals for a total of 15 years, always on stage with a smile on your face. We love you very much and can't wait to see where life takes you. Ranked fourth in the class of 2021 is Anna Brown. Anna is the daughter of Jason and Amanda Brown and will attend Bucknell University in the fall, majoring in environmental science. She received the Presidential Fellowship Scholarship. Anna's mother wrote her roast, and Mrs. Elias has the pleasure of reading it.
I remember going to your fourth grade teacher conferences and Ms. Lisa notifying me that you had gotten an almost perfect score on your PSSA testing, and what a great achievement that was. She mentioned that the teachers were going to address your accomplishments in front of the other students, and you were so embarrassed to be the center of any sort of attention, which I'm sure you are loving today as well. Some things never change. You have always worked hard and gotten good grades, but in 9th grade, when you missed being in the top 6 of your class, you were so disappointed, and I think that moment lit a spark inside you to push yourself even harder to be able to achieve your goal, which you've now met the past 3 years, while also participating in sports and other school activities. You've had some amazing classmates to share this top honor with, some being your closest friends since kindergarten. I'm so very thankful for those friendships and the support system you have had for the past 13 years. Mrs. Nightingale, your kindergarten teacher, was definitely doing something right back in 2008. Despite being a hardworking student, there are a few things that Anna doesn't do so well. Reading. Sorry, English teachers, but this was one of the biggest struggles to get through over the years. Anna literally hates to read, not only for pleasure, but for most assignments as well. Give her a science book and she might get through it. Spelling. I don't even know where to start with that one. I can't believe I had to proofread and actually correct some scholarship applications for spelling errors. Doing the dishes. I can't even. I've tried it all. Scrub brushes, gloves, she just won't do them. She says, I can't do it. It's so gross, I'm going to throw up. Thankfully, at Bucknell, your meals will be in a cafeteria that will wash your dishes for you. I won't miss coming home to a sink full of your little plastic containers from lunch. But then again, maybe I will miss that. I can't believe how fast these years have flown by. Everyone says that, but until you're sitting through your last high school banquet, you really don't believe it. Dad and I are so incredibly proud of you and all your accomplishments through the years, and mostly of the person you've become. We can't wait to see where your next adventure leads you. Love you, babe. And third in the class of 2021 is Megan Kaiser. Megan is the daughter of Craig and Laura Kaiser and will attend Shippensburg University in the fall and will major in biology with a concentration in health professions and pre-optometry. She plans to move on to an optometry school to earn her doctor of optometry. Mrs. Comley will read Megan's roast, written by the Kaiser family.
As most of you probably know, Megan is the middle child of 5 children, and according to her, she is treated as the middle child. Her older and younger siblings are highly favored over her. We make special effort to neglect her and or blame her for any misfortune that may occur. We wanted to point that out first so that if this roast fails miserably, it is absolutely because we intended it that way. You know, middle child. Back in 9th grade, when we attended her first honors banquet and listened to the senior roasts, she commented that when we write hers, we should be sure to include the fact that she loves vegetables, studying diagrams of the human eye, and that she would like to be addressed as Megalodon. She has since added a few more monikers to her collection, including Megatron, Nutmeg, Kim Possible, Megalovania, and Megan O. Oregano. Speaking of names, when we were looking through baby name books, one book in particular not only gave the meaning of that name, but gave people's perceptions of the names. When we came upon the name Megan, the description was a cute, young, red-headed pixie who is fun-loving and headstrong. We absolutely loved that description, and it helped us settle on her name. She has certainly lived up to those descriptive words, most notably the word headstrong. If anything, Megan is stubborn, independent, focused, and driven. All of these traits were apparent even before she was born. After 2 boys, we were hopeful for a little girl and couldn't wait for the ultrasound to find out if we would be adding one to our little family. However, after several ultrasounds, we were told, "You've got a stubborn one in there. This baby just isn't cooperating." We waited a few months more. Then Megan's grandmother, who was an OB nurse, had arranged for one of the doctors to try one last time to find out the gender. We traveled an hour, bringing chocolates to this fine doctor, who would finally give us our answer. But I'm sure you know where this is going. Our stubborn, independent little girl was going to do it her way. We were informed that she was positioned with her arms behind her head and her legs firmly crossed as if relaxing in a hammock. She was not going to let us in on that coveted information until she was good and ready. This was our first clue of her personality. Her siblings are always there to remind her when her stubbornness comes off a bit too strong, so we couldn't let this moment pass without letting them get a few digs in. Ben and Alex love to tease their siblings. At times, this greatly upsets and frustrates Megan. She tends to get quiet when she's mad, but then it builds up until, as her brothers would say, she wolfs out. Calling her on her wolfing out makes her even more upset. Another personality trait that greatly annoys her siblings is her focus on time and time management. If any of them holds her up in any way, interrupts her focus when completing a task, or jeopardizes her ability to be on time for something, she goes into drill sergeant mode. Well, enough of the bashing of her traits. It's because of these traits that she is so successful. During the preschool years, we were a little worried that she wasn't picking up reading as quickly as her brothers, who had learned to read at the age of 3. We never pushed them, but this was something they absolutely enjoyed doing. By age 4, Megan was not picking it up as quickly, so we had to come to terms that she might not be as bright as her brothers or an avid reader like them. Looking back at these worries, we have to laugh, because by the time she entered kindergarten, she was reading through books faster than we could keep up. A few grades later, we ended many nights with, "It's way past your bedtime, you absolutely must stop reading." And we even used the threat of taking books away for any misbehavior. When Megan was upset for any reason, she would pack a backpack with books, a toothbrush, and a blanket, and threaten to run away. But would always end up in the same location of the play wooden ark in the backyard, reading away until her emotions calmed down. She read so much, scoring hundreds and hundreds of AR points, and even causing teachers to think there must be a problem when they scored her Dibbles test, because no one had ever gotten a score so high. Now, all of that sounds like a parent's dream, but we almost forgot to mention she does most of her reading out loud, and it's not even nice reading so that you can listen along. It's super speed reading that's difficult to comprehend for any listener. This out loud speed reading also applies to math problems, recipes when cooking, and any other assignment or project she needs to complete. To wrap it up, Megan, it is your stubbornness, independence, and gift of reading that has gotten you here today and will help you to fulfill your goals and dreams. Keep marching to the beat of your own drum and doing it your way, because it certainly has worked and continues to work for you. As children grow up, they look up to and admire their parents. We have come full circle because as we sit here today, we realize that through all of the challenges and obstacles you have risen above, we now admire you. Second in the class, and the salutatorian of the class of 2021, is Jillian Landon. Jillian is the daughter of Kelly and Kristen Landon and will attend Lafayette College to major in civil and environmental engineering. Her roast was written by her parents and her brother Ben. Gotta wet my whistle for this one. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. Sorry, wrong speech. Here it is, Jilly's roast. This calm, cool, collected person you see before you is a collection of 18 years of ups and downs, good times and bad, and just enough quirky experiences that hopefully will make for an entertaining few moments. For those of you old enough to remember the Dean Martin celebrity roasts, like me, you may want to turn up your hearing aids and give a listen. Jilly came into the world like many children, bald. But unlike most, she remained hairless as a cue ball far into her second year of life. Never has a child worn so many pink headbands and dresses to reinforce her gender identity. Jilly has always been helpful. As a toddler, she would play hair salon occasionally with her grandmother. The only issue was that when she did this, she used a concoction made from toothpaste and other lotions as the shampoo. How my mother could laugh and joke about that, I will never know. Even at that early age, she was pushing the limits of scientific investigation. While on vacation, we were dining out, and Jilly was having her favorite meal at the time, chicken fingers, French fries, and broccoli. Suddenly, a stricken look clouded her face. When we inquired as to why, she replied, "I stuck a French fry up my nose." 5 hours later, at the emergency room, and having long forceps probe her nasal cavity, it was determined that whatever had not been recovered had disintegrated. Most memorable last night of vacation ever. The Roslyn years were fairly non-eventful, except for one day. Upon being picked up in the car line, her mother could sense that something was amiss. While pressing her for an explanation, Jilly burst into tears, and between sobs, she blurted out, "Mrs. Williams gave me a bone today for talking in the cafeteria." Roslyn parents will understand the shame of the bone. To this day, whenever her brother wants to push her buttons for effect, he will say, "Remember when you got the bone at Roslyn?" "Well, I never got one." In reality, Jilly still insists it was Jenna's fault that she got the bone. Also during this time, the dance years existed. All I can say is God bless Wendy Peckins. Whatever magic pixie was supposed to sprinkle Jilly with the dust for lithe, flowing, elegant movement didn't quite make a direct hit. She may not have been blessed with natural grace, but she was blessed with fortitude. Her biggest claim to fame came from vomiting in the right wings before her group was to go on stage. She wiped her mouth and went out there without missing a beat, as she does have perfect rhythm, and didn't let her group down. Come to think of it, vomiting is a recurring theme with her, as anyone who has ever watched her finish a 5K race or a 3,200-meter track run can attest to. Just ask Thurston Sick or his dog. As she grew into her teenage years and became involved in varsity athletics, we started noticing a trend. She is clumsy. She will trip over, she will run into, she will bang her head off anything and everything in her path. She has inflicted multiple bruises and welts upon her flesh by striking herself accidentally with her tennis racket while playing or practicing. She often mentions being self-concussed and that she has memory issues. We're starting to buy into the loss of memory, as we notice she has forgotten where her clothes belong, based on the condition of her room, or where the gas tank is located on the car, based on the level of fuel commonly found in it. Hopefully, she will also not remember the amount of angst that she inflicted upon us in watching her tennis matches. In over 10 years of coaching other sports, I never experienced the uneasiness and nervousness that I felt while watching Jilly compete in a match. I think tennis may be the main cause of my hair loss. She's also messy. We understand she loves biology, but that is no reason to be growing unidentifiable cultures in the cup holders of the car. If she's ever stranded in the car, she will be able to survive days or weeks on the half-consumed food products found in the vehicle and have antibiotics should she get sick. Consuming a meal with Jilly is sometimes an eye-opening experience. At times, her eating a piece of meat conjures up visions of King Henry VIII, complete with the meat firmly embedded on the fork and held at eye level, with Jilly tearing off a piece of it with her teeth. Drinking from a glass reminds one of a whale rising up through the depths of the ocean, mouth wide open, consuming krill. She may be the only 18-year-old working in childcare who looks forward to playing Barbies daily. We believe Barbie is solely to blame for her obsession with clothes. She rarely discards a piece of clothing. Flashback to the messy room mention. even to the point of wearing a sweater from second grade that now takes on the role of a crop top. She is also obsessed with Hallmark movies, especially the holiday versions. We surmise Mrs. Harvey's literature selections this year did not generate the same fervent gushing from Jilly as Merry Kissmas. Although an excellent, safe driver, she needed to be told that you do not drive with both feet simultaneously. I learned that one the hard way one day while using her to operate a car as I was trying to pull out of a rut with my truck. She has also had to be instructed that when the oil monitor in your car reads 5%, it does not mean that you only have 5% of the oil left in the crankcase. She becomes too attached to the trout she raises from eggs for future release, even to the point of naming them and shedding tears as they are freed into the stream at Patriots Cove. During the quarantine, while we were worried about finding toilet paper and stockpiling the freezer, Jilly was lamenting not being able to care for her fish and worried that Mr. Ellsworth would not be able to sprinkle the fish food into the tank the way they were used to it. We secretly think Jilly's career aspirations should be in voice acting. It started with her imitating all of the train's voices on Thomas the Tank when her brother was younger. She then progressed to voice impressions of classic TV and cartoon characters from shows such as Hogan's Heroes and Underdog. Ask her for her Simon Bar Sinister impression when you need a laugh. Your mother and I love you and would not trade these quirks for anything in the world. Congratulations, Jilly, and keep being you. That's just how we like it. And ranked first and the valedictorian of the class of 2021 is Jack Chilson. Jack is the son of, want to clap now? Jack is the son of Terry Chilson and Rebecca Gramad Chilson. Jack will be attending Harvard University, where he will study government and compete in track and field. His roast was written by his mother and will be read by Mrs. Elias.
Almost exactly 19 years ago, Jack made his debut in a memorable fashion. It was just after midnight in the operating room at the Mayo Clinic, and the medical student assisting with the C-section was feeling lightheaded. Apologies if this next part is too graphic. But she literally ended up fainting face first into the surgical field of the open abdomen. Needless to say, Jack, you have added excitement to our lives ever since. You showed early signs that you were advanced, like clearly saying 100 words when you were 1 and singing the ABCs backwards with ease when you were 2.5. But there were also times that made us question your potential for future academic success. Like when you were 4 and your gamma said she was taking you to Roslyn, where you'd be attending kindergarten. When you arrived, you exclaimed in disappointment, "But this isn't Olive Garden." You were quite upset to learn that your elementary years would not be spent in your favorite restaurant eating breadsticks for lunch every day. We didn't always expect you to pursue a career in government. There was a brief period when we thought you might follow your parents' path in medicine, like in first grade, when your teacher asked the class for words that start with the letter U, you cheerfully volunteered uterus. And then we thought perhaps music was your true calling, as you have loved to sing since you were a toddler. We still talk about the day you came home from kindergarten and proudly pulled out some coins from your pockets that girls had given you in exchange for singing Jonas Brothers songs during recess. Although you won't be a singer in a rock band like you once thought, you still bring melody to our lives each day when we hear you belting out songs from the shower. Professional athlete was the next potential career. You worked tirelessly in each sport to improve and be the best you could be, not only for yourself, but also for the team. You embraced our family's deep roots and took pride in the fact that you are the 5th generation to play football for the Tigers and 8th generation to reside in Tunkhannock. This manifested in a drive to succeed for your community as well. In the end, you earned 12 varsity letters and set school and conference records. You have been an inspiration to others, especially your younger brothers. perhaps too well, as your brother Ben now takes pride in claiming he can dunk on you and beat you in one-on-one. And while Luke doesn't have any specific plans to break your sports records, he's content that he can still beat you in Minecraft. Finally, you found that government and public service was your true calling. We aren't surprised, since we had nicknamed you Mr. Mayor when you were 3. You were a natural little politician even back then, as you would walk up and down Tioga Street waving and talking to anyone who was willing to stop and chat. You have always possessed an uncanny ability to connect and talk with anyone. And if your government path takes you to law school, we won't be surprised. As a 4th grader, you helped create mock trials that were conducted at recess each day. Since these trials were your idea, you appointed yourself the judge. Your classmates would take turns playing the roles of the individual on trial: prosecutor, defense attorney, witnesses, and jury. It all served for an exciting and realistic experience as you would rush home to describe the trial of the day. These exercises definitely set the groundwork for your future debate skills, as few of us have ever been able to win one at home over you. Jack, we are so proud of the person you have become and the positive impact you have made on your family, school, and community. You have worked hard, achieved goals which you set for yourself, and are now dreaming even bigger dreams. Your life approach since a young age has been to treat others with kindness, compassion, and empathy. You desire to help those who can't help themselves is aspiring. You are driven by the passion of making the world a better place. We know that you will, as you already have. Most importantly, you recognize that you did not arrive here on your own. You have received tremendous support from your extended family, for which we know you are truly grateful. You also realize how fortunate you are to have received a quality education from Tunkhannock area schools ever since kindergarten. We are so thankful for the wonderful teachers, school counselors, administration, and staff who played integral roles along your journey. We hope you know how much you'll be missed as you embark on your next great adventure in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Well, maybe we should clarify. Most of us will miss you, since your mother still plans on going to college with you. With much love, Mom, Dad, Ben, and Luke. Class of 2021, if you would please stand for one last applause. Our seniors, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. After Mr. Bosher's closing remarks, it is traditional that we take a picture of each class together, and we will do that at the close of the program, so please don't run off. Mr. Bosher?
A collective round of applause for these 24 remarkable young people. I would, before I read my closing here, I think I would be remiss if I didn't just make mention of the significance of just being here tonight at all. This is, one of our, most special events in the spring. It celebrates our most accomplished students. It wasn't that many weeks ago when Sue came to my office and she said, Mr. Bosch, do you think we could even do this? Are we going to issue a certain number of tickets? Are we going to just do it online? Is it going to be all virtual? Where can we do it based on the numbers? And here we are tonight as families, and just a round of applause for everybody for making this possible. We are really pleased to host this event in our building tonight. Thank you for being here. These events, I say this every chance I get, nobody does what we do. I mean, you won't find other schools that put on these sorts of events year after year after year and celebrate our students like we're doing this week for our seniors, our underclassmen, and we are just really proud of being able to do that, and certainly given the restrictions that we've been under for these last 16 months. It's just really special to be here together in family units. So, in closing, the Honors Banquet is not possible with our honorees, the support of our students' families who've modeled high regard for learning and education. We also appreciate the support of our school board, the district administration, and the dedication and guidance of the faculty, many of whom are here. Thank you to Mr. Richter, whose technology support allowed us to bring this program to the families at home. Thank you to Ms. Hunter-Jones. Nice to have you back in our building and being such an integral part of our program tonight. Thank you for being here. A special thanks to Susan Elias. Susan Elias, she's very modest, and she didn't even want me to mention her, but I tell you, Susan Elias has been working tirelessly on this thing for weeks and weeks, trying to figure out how to pull it off, how we can do it, how we can get the most number of people here. And literally, given the events of Memorial Day weekend, she pulled this thing together in a matter of days. So a round of applause to Susan Elias. In closing, congratulations again, students. Thank you, each and every one of you, for being here tonight and being a part of this. Please stick around for the photograph. Enjoy your cookies and your delicious cupcakes. I got a soft spot for those cupcakes myself. So thank you again for being here. Have a great evening. Good night.